It isn't over yet, but for now, let's count this as a victory. Before I open this review of chapter 324 of My Hero Academia, please do me a favor and leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit the little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to review chapter 324 of My Hero Academia, which is known as A Child's Insistence. And I like the chapter. I do. It feels like I'm not exactly sold on the chapter because it has things in it that I'm like, yeah, okay. There's some things in the chapter that make me go like I'll grin and bear it. Nothing. This chapter isn't all like yes, 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 but it does have moments that make me go yes, 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 yes. However, let's just not get into general descriptors. Let's hop right into the chapter itself. The chapter opens up very interestingly with the Uraraka family, and we see Uraraka as a whole babu looking at the smiling face of a civilian, and she reveals that she loved seeing people's happy faces, and that's pretty darn cool. I do like that. And we get to it's literally a lot more backstory. That's what this chapter really is. It's a lot more of just Uraraka revealing parts about herself. But the thing is, I mean, I guess there's more elaboration. She likes to see people's smiling faces in general, but like, I feel like this is something that if not, we were just explicitly told in the past, we could have inferred. Like, I feel like this isn't something that's too shocking. Like, I'm pretty sure way back, she already said she wanted to see her parents' happy faces. So her wanting to see other people's happy faces isn't like a shock to me. So it's not revealing anything, but I guess it's just for the emphasis. And I think that's what this chapter is for. It's just for the emphasis. This isn't supposed to be like some deep, like, analytical breakdown of civilians and heroes and their relationship. Like, this isn't supposed to be that. It's just supposed to be like it's supposed to be just Uraraka hammering a point home, which is fine. And we get to see that with all the people here, she still was really inspired to see happy people's faces because of her parents' hard work. And I do like that this is being mentioned. While it isn't being mentioned in the same whole poverty aspect, which in my opinion was why Uraraka was interesting as a character in the first place, the whole relationship between poverty and heroism, it is still brought up in the fact that she wanted to see people's happy faces because she always saw her parents seem so tired and exhausted. And of course we get to see her parents here, and that's always good to see. I do like seeing the kids' parents. And we get to see that Uraraka, instead of watching heroes, typically always watches the people who are watching the heroes. And I think that's interesting because I don't know, that one kind of feels weird to me, right? Because, like, why wouldn't you just stay a civilian if you wanted to be like, if you wanted to see the people watching the heroes? Like, you could have become a comedian or something like that. But I guess heroism is like the best way to do that or something like that, I guess. So I guess you want to make people smiling by doing the thing you weren't interested in by watching other people who were watching the thing that you weren't interested in, I know I'm like looking a little bit too deep into it, and the thing is, it's fine. It's whatever. It's essentially just Horikoshi hammering the nail home that Uraraka is a support-based character. That's all she is. She, no matter what, whether you are a hero, civilian, and unfortunately, even villain, Uraraka just wants to support you and see you smile. And that's, it's a good message. It's a good message on the surface level. Like, you want to make everyone happy, no matter what, and you got to be able to accommodate for people, no matter what. And I think that's good. We get to see that people are, like, slowly coming around to the idea of Midoriya staying. Like, I do like that, how her words are having some sort of influence. Like, it's sort of waking them up out of their, like, oh no, all for one, like, it's sort of waking them up out of that stupor of like, yo, this kid's here, he's the all for one lore, and he's built like all for one too, so we kind of don't want him here. Like, her just stating facts to him, or like pretty much restating the obvious, considering a lot of them probably can't see him or just weren't paying attention to him at first because they were concerned about themselves. It's good to see that her words have that impact, and it's also cool to see that the woman Midoriya saved is like still there. She's definitely rooting for him. Like, wow, she's impressed that he kept fighting after he saved her. Like, she thought it was a one and done, like, oh, he came out just to save me and then he went home. But no, it's revealed that, to her at least, that he kept fighting. That's cool. And the thing is, we still do get like the controversial people like, I don't want to be covered in dirt and grime as well. And the most ironic thing is that he's wearing an All Might t-shirt, which I just find hilarious. I know Horikoshi did with a purpose, because it's supposed to show that, like, once again, the merchandisation of heroes and stuff like that, like the idea of heroes became too commercialized on a front, so thusly they have this perfect crystal clear image of heroes in their head that can't be broken, like heroes shouldn't be allowed to rest and stuff like that. However, Uraraka like pushes the stereotype, but not completely, when she says the only ones who will shoulder the burdens will be us heroes. Like, she is saying we will still protect you with everything, just let the kid take a nap, which is pretty darn smart. How she heard that, dude? I mean, no, it's like heavy rating outside, so I don't believe you should have heard that, dude. But regardless, that's probably just a continuation of what she was saying. Like, she probably didn't actually hear him, which is perfectly fine. And we get to see that Midoriya is witnessing how hard Uraraka is fighting. And we get, once again, that Uraraka wants to see people smile. She wants to make sure that people can smile. And Midoriya, with his broken voice, is like, oh, Uraraka-san, you really are endgame. And we get to see that Uraraka is still like, yo, fun fact, y'all still too many and too fodder. Like, we cannot guarantee your safety. However, I'm going to need you to relax here. We're all under the same circumstances. We're all under the same roof. Take a moment to step back and realize that we're all fodder too. Because if All For One rolls up, we're all screwed anyway. Whether he's here or not, we're probably screwed. So y'all just gotta hold that. And it's cool to see like every other hero in person there essentially look towards Uraraka, look towards the heavens and be like, wow, she's really doing it. She's really bringing people together. And we get to see once again young Uraraka just always intrigued with the smiling face of the civilians and not really the hero. But then again, she sees the hero and she goes even happier at that too. So I guess it's like a mix, like a fusion dance of both, which is fine. I think that's cool too. That's a very interesting way to do it, where she has like the two halves of the whole, where she wants to see the civilian smiling and the hero smiling, everyone smiling. And it's like the part of the chapter that's like, now here's the thing. I feel like Horikoshi is trying to like redeem, or not even redeem, but he's trying to save characters that, it's going to sound weird, don't deserve to be saved, or don't need to be saved, or something like that. Like, Toga is what flashes in Uraraka's mind when she's saying that tomorrow we can all smile together. Toga flashes in her mind, and she's going on and on about everyone's help, blah, blah, blah. But the thing that got me is like, Uraraka, Toga, she's like a whole murderer. Like, you know this, right? Like, you literally yelled at her for being a whole murderer. But you want to save her, huh? She needs to smile too? You know she smiles through murder, right? Right? Like, right? Like, right? Okay, we'll get into that later. But the thing is, Midoriya is super happy. Well, no, not yet. Midoriya is breaking down because he's seeing how far one of his friends is willing to go for him. His original friend. The person who he first, like, truly interacted with on the way to UA that didn't treat him with any spite. His original friend is going so hard for him right here and right now. We get to see that Midoriya breaks down. I do like this. I do like the shift in character narration box. Like, the thing is, it goes from like a pure white narration box when we're just on her Uraraka's perspective, and then it shifts to like this gradient narration box where it sort of overwhelms the image, or no, overlays the image, and it says, this is the story of how I became the greatest hero, which is supposed to be like this melding of Midoriya and Uraraka's perspective and how their own definitions of the greatest heroes mix and merge despite being different, because this is it's a mix of their first interaction and their introductions with their modern selves. And I love how Midoriya is like, the text solidifies itself and it says, this is the story of how we all became the greatest heroes. I think that is a nice flip. I do like that. Horikoshi, that was slick. I do enjoy that. But the thing I enjoy the most, the thing that got, like, really didn't bring a tear to my eye, because I've read the spoilers. Gosh darn it, I need to draw it, all right? But the thing is, the thing that got me was we get to see the lady that he saved coming up, because obviously we couldn't have Eri here or someone like that. Like, she needs to be separate. And a lot of the people that Midoriya has saved, like, they were pretty much all nameless faces. She was the only one that got like a unique enough design and enough to help out that she needs to be used as one of the forefront. But the main one that like didn't bring a tear to my eye, because like, once again, emotionally stonewalled, but the thing that made me smile was Koda running up with his little red shoes to go comfort his hero. I really liked that. That was nice. That was sweet. I really appreciated that, because as much as the whole Koda stuff was like blown over and mentioned passively, I think it was mentioned like twice, if not once, after the whole events of the hideout raid arc, after the training camp arc, I still think his relationship with Midoriya is one of the best parts of the series. As much as I don't like the muscular fight, I do believe their relationship is very, very interesting, and I enjoy it. Just as I believe Eri's relationship with Midoriya is very, very interesting, and I enjoyed that. So yeah, that was good. That ripped the most emotion out of me, I'll admit. Seeing that image of Koda's red shoes running towards his green hero, that was very, very cool. Once again, we see Nezu with one more step at a time and blah, blah, blah. However, what do I think about this chapter as a whole? I think it's a pretty solid 7. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the chapter almost... That's the thing. It may not be repeating itself. And I do like... There are things I like in this chapter. Like, I like the flip on this is how we all became the greatest heroes. And I like the idea of, like, Midoriya finally breaking down and going fully human when he cries at, like, the reveal of how his friends have put him... how his friends are putting themselves on the line for him in one of the most like realest way possible by like putting themselves in front of all these people, all these strangers, all these people who don't want Midoriya there. How the physical acts of them like throwing themselves at him wasn't really enough to like break him down, but it was honestly the indirect like talking acts, the willingness to put yourself in front of civilians, the willingness to do all this. That's what really broke him down. I love that, because it shows the both sides of Midoriya that need to be like satiated, the physical side and the mental side. I think that's very, very good. But the rest is like, it's cool, and that's about it. I don't know. It's like the chapter it's not bad. It's nowhere near bad, but I guess the main thing that I've realized, once again, because shockingly enough, I know y'all don't believe me, but I constantly reevaluate my stance on characters. I will constantly go back on a previous perspective I had on a character and be like, why do I like or dislike this character? And if something changes in my analysis, something changes in my analysis. And I think I've heavily realized why Uraraka like consistently just dodges my favor. It's because, one, my own personal taste. 2, because of all the negative things she's had an impact on in the narrative. And 3, it's because Horikoshi seems to be like avoiding giving her like a solid victory. I don't mean victory in a fight. I know one of y'all made a great comment on how she doesn't need to be all the big bad villains, and I get that. However, like, victory for a character doesn't just have to come in the form of like a fight. It can come in like, no, I mean like a physical fight, because to be fair, this is a fight. Fighting against the civilians and their paranoia, their fear, is a very important fight, and that's why I hope Uraraka wins here. I hope she manages to convince the civilians, because the chapter ends at a very like interesting point where it could still go either way. She's pleaded her heart out and given her case, and we do see a lot of the civilians are like willing, like they're not necessarily willing. A lot of the civilians are in fact witnessing this and like holding off. And I do love that the guy from the first chapter who we saw with Midoriya is standing there. He has the umbrella over the dude that was complaining. But I hope this counts as a victory for Uraraka, because Uraraka has had a lot of like negative stance built up in the narrative so far, so I hope this is a positive point for her. And that's the thing, I don't necessarily have much to talk about. This chapter is much more is it weird to say filler? Not necessarily filler. This chapter is once again transitionary, and the only other real like big bad issue I have, other than I feel like it's just repeating concepts we already know about to some degree, is the whole idea that Uraraka wants to save villains too and see them smile too. But like, these people aren't Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I hate to say it. Like, these are not characters we can find redeemable. Zuko, as far as we know, man didn't like conscientiously murder anybody. In fact, he went out of his way to avoid that 99.9% of the time, if not all the time. So I could definitely see redeeming Zuko. I can't see redeeming Toga. I can't see redeeming Dabi. I can't see redeeming Shigaraki. And I don't get how, from Uraraka's perspective, she wants to try and save those people. Just like I can't get from Midoriya's perspective that he wants to try and save Shigaraki. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like if they are saved, that sends a very weird message on Horikoshi's part. And to be fair, I'm not judging Horikoshi at all as an artist or a writer. Like, write whatever you want. I'm very much indifferent. I'm just here to read it and talk about it, essentially. So that's fine. But when I look at like these moments where these villains are trying to be like folded, like put into the fold of these civilians and heroes, I don't think you can do that. At least not in my mind. I can never forgive Toga. It's not something I could do. After all she's done, I don't think I could do that. I couldn't forgive Shigaraki. I love Shigaraki, by the way. Shigaraki's one of my favorite characters in My Hero Academia. Easy top 5, if not top 3 character in my mind. I think Dabi's aight. To be fair, I know like y'all have heard my grievances about Dabi in the past, but those are all characters I cannot forgive. I would never forgive Shigaraki. That man's a menace. So to see that two of our main characters want to forgive like their respective opposite in the villain side of things, it's not for me. It's not for me. And I think that'll always be a constant holdback for like some of these characters. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel realistic. And to be fair, that's another thing that you can get into with a lot of superhero comics, and we could go into that on another date. But that's it. I don't really want to drag this review out any longer. That's just me. This is me just giving my thoughts on the chapter, which I felt like was very light. It has good emotional moments, has good emotional highs. I like that. It elaborates on stuff we probably already knew, if not could infer and had inferred already, which is fine. And that's it. Super solid chapter, nice 7 out of 10, but please know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.